What's up, guys? It's Tuesday, November 5th. This is Insiders TV, and we're talking about the Suns tonight. Yes, I'm sure that everyone out there knows that that's the Suns theme music. Just a little treat you get here on FantasyInsiders.com. I'm David Kitchen, aka Socrdave, talking about tonight's slate. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. We're talking about FanDuel, and whenever I'm playing on FanDuel, I always like to just take a few key guys, and then just kind of mess around to see what else I can fit in with those key guys. So I'm gonna just tell you what I'm feeling tonight, and if I'm right, just say hey, thanks. If I'm wrong, feel free to just have at me. Point guard position, I'm looking at value tonight at point guard. You've got Jeremy Lin, who's still 5,400. He's going to get a lot of minutes. It's going to be a fast-paced game there at Portland. I'm not concerned about the back-to-back because he's only 5,400. You also have C.J. Watson filling in for George Hill. Both those guys are two guys that I would consider. If you're not going to take those guys, then I would look for Damian Lillard at 8,400 if you're willing to pay. But for me tonight, I'm wanting to go cheap for point guard. At shooting guard position, I don't even know what I'm saying. Silly me. At shooting guard position, I like guys like Monte Ellis in that Dallas LA Lakers game. He's 8,100 though, so he's a little expensive. That game has by far the highest over under at a 214, and Dallas is projected to score over 111 points. But Eric Bledsoe, he's the guy that I think everyone's going to be on tonight, as is Gerald Green. Both those guys kind of getting the lion's share of the minutes. Gerald Green has also come to play, so I don't mind playing these two guys from the same team. FanDuel kind of limits you as far as the eligibility on positions, but either of these guys are a fine play. Dwayne Wade also not a bad play, especially with Chris Bosh out tonight. If you're looking for other guys to kind of fit in your salary, look for Lance Stevenson at 5,800. He might be able to provide some value. And then again, in that game with the Lakers and the Mavs, look for Xavier Henry. Small forward position is the position that frustrates me the most today. There's just not a ton of options. One of the guys I like that I took last night is Omri Caspi. I mean, Omar, what am I saying? He's 3,600. I'm a little bit scared about using him on the back-to-back, but again, small forward, it's just a position that I'm really not feeling too good about tonight. The guy that I feel the best about is Batum against the Rockets at 7,500, coming off a triple-double. I think he's going to have a good night. The two guys below him are also the guys I'm looking at, Parsons and Leonard, both those in high-scoring games, and they can do good. But I think that you have to go, for me, Batum and then LeBron James. Those are the safest options. So there's enough value out there with C.J. Watson and Lynn and Gerald Green and Jason Smith for the Hornets and some of those center positions like DeJuan Blair. Those are the guys that are going to allow you to play LeBron James and feel good about it. At the power forward position, this is the position that I would spend on. I know that you have a couple options like Jason Smith that we talked about earlier, but Anthony Davis is a guy that I think is he just is scoring too much not to roster him there at 9,000. You've got Gasol in that high-scoring game. You've got Duncan in a great matchup against Denver, where his price is only 7,500. And then you have Dirk in that high-scoring game, and you have Millsap, who's a decent option. But all these guys basically have around the same sort of talent level and are able to put up the same sort of numbers. So it's really whatever you can fit in. Duncan would be the preference out of all these after Davis. But having a balanced group of those guys is not a bad thing at all. At the center position, it's another position where I'm just probably going to go cheap on tonight. If you're looking to spend, and you're wanting to play on the wild side, look for DeMarcus Cousins. He's just he's such a wild card these days that I just don't feel great until he kind of gets his act together for a few games in a row. Look for Cousins though. Also look for Cantor against Brooklyn. The only thing that kind of scares me there is that they're just not projected to score a lot, and so Cantor is going to have to step up. I think he can. I think this is one where maybe they score more than what Vegas is predicting them to, especially against that soft defense that Brooke Lopez provides. I'm going cheap though, so some cheap guys. D'Alembert for the Mavs. I think he's going to get a lot of run there, and has had a pretty successful season this year. Also, looking at the two guys let me find them. Scrolling down, Chris Anderson, obviously possible. He and Joel Anthony possible fill-ins for Chris Bosh, who's going to be out with his wife's the birth of his child that his wife is giving him. I don't even know where I'm going with that. But the other Dallas guy is Dwan Blair that I talked about earlier. He's been playing good, and again, there's going to be lots of points in this. So that would be the guys that I would probably consider the core value of guys, and then you can always mix and match in others. But that's kind of what's going on in my mind. And if you disagree or agree, hit me up on Twitter at Socrdave, Socrdave, and always remember to go to fantasyinsiders.com for the latest information. Thanks, guys.